Welcome everyone to another episode of Three Birds and a Punt. My name is Afia and I am joined as always by my co-host Whip and John. Say hey guys.
Salutations.
Hey.
All right. The Three Birds are so excited to announce that we have partnered with AmazeMedia Labs to be the official Eagles broad podcast for the Pigskin Network. You can find the Three Birds on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Anchor, or wherever you get your podcasts. We're also on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube tonight live. Please make sure you download and subscribe. Three Birds and a Punt on the ticker. Welcome back, Mr. Whip. Welcome. I'm excited to have you back, have the whole crew back here once again, so we can really cap off what I think is going to be a great partnership with AmazeMedia Labs. So we're very excited to have the whole crew here tonight. And we're going to start off with a great show. I know we're in the middle of a Sixers game, and that's where we're going to start. The title of the show, episode 37, is called 3 the Hard Way, because we are still geeked that James Harden has joined the Sixers and is really doing the damn work, even though right now, as I heard, they're currently getting their asses kicked by the Celtics, but that's neither here nor there.
The Cavs.
Cavaliers.
Oh, wow. Cleveland Cavaliers. Okay. Well, let's talk about it, okay? Let's get into this Sixers-Harden's partnership, what you guys are seeing from the crew in the last, three? They've only been together, four games? This is the fifth game now?
Games. This would be 3 games, yeah.
3 games. This is the 3rd game in. So just kind of going into how you feel it's been going so far, what you think about the crew. Let's tap in. Go ahead, guys.
John, you, me.
Hey, family. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. They haven't even touched the surface of their potential yet. Harden kind of alleviates the pressure of having a backup big to back up Joel. He averages double-digit rebounds. Like, it's crazy that one of our best rebounders on the team is James Harden. But he's elevated Maxi's play. I like the fact that Harden is accountable for Maxi, and he makes sure that he stays in his game. At halftime, Maxi only had 4 points, and James said to him, "Are you going to play today?" And he came out. He went 4 for 5 just in the 3rd quarter alone, and really helped propel us because it was looking rough. And as far, we were in a whole 11 points, double-digit points. I never thought that we would lose that game. I knew we were going to pull that game out. I'm like, there's no way. And what happened? Tobias stepped up too. George Niang off the bench. Thibault had 10 points. That's all you need from him. You need five makes from Tobias, and you need Thibault at least getting double-digit points. 6 to 8 points. The defense all world outside of that Boston game. They've been playing good of late. And now we got DeAndre Jordan coming, they'll help shore up that front court defense. Because it seems like we get ate up when talk
about it. What you mean by that, John?
Our defense gets ate up with cutters inside, and Tobias is always a step slow. Did you notice that?
Hey, listen.
Tobias always a step slow, or Danny Green's a step slow, and they foul, and then they fight with the ref. Well, it wasn't a foul. I'm like, dude, if that's beyond the point. But now you need somebody inside that's gonna outside of Joel, that's gonna be in the middle, that's gonna dare you to come down to the paint.
So is it fair to say that you're Mr. Positivity right now?
Oh yeah.
So wait, is it also fair to say we in championship mode?
Oh yeah.
Remember what you said 2 shows ago. Remember what you said 2 shows ago.
Not only you see that he said, "Ooh, listen, stop." Listen, dude. Listen. I'm glad James Harden is here. First and foremost, salutations, everybody. Sorry I wasn't here last week, but I'm back. let's get back to it. I'm glad that the Bears is in Philly, man. It's a perfect match. And Embiid and the B, I mean the Bear together. That's Starsky and Hutch, cuz it's like that. But here's the thing. I'm glad these last, 2 games or 3 games that they played, they look good together. Transition game was on point. We didn't lose a step after losing Feminine Simmons. You know, transition game is still on point. It's actually we faster. All right. But what I'm trying to say is to my other birds is that I love you guys, both of you. But you guys kill the hell out of me when we get a new toy in this motherfucker head. You two be going off, and I be saying to myself, guys,
I mean, who wouldn't?
No, but listen, you're right. But y'all gotta slow down because here's the thing. This is only 3 games in. Them cats that they playing right now, I'm beating them by 13. And
see, this is Resident Scrooge right here.
Yeah,
and I think what I really need is just for me and John to go back to this duo that we had last week, because we was just really having I'm just kidding. No, bring us back to the real, John.
You know
I mean, Whip, bring us back to the real.
I'm the Resident Scrooge, but I'm the elder of this. So I have to put it out there.
Do you feel like this run is fool's gold?
No, not at all. And let me finish explaining it. And once I'm done, you'll understand where I'm going with this. I am happy and thrilled that we got another superstar in here. Fun fact. Moses Malone was traded from the Houston Rockets to the Sixers. They won a championship in '83.
The last Houston MVP that the Sixers ever traded for was Moses.
Correct.
And to the almost nearly to the day. If you look back at that trade, I was like, "Ooh, Lord."
No, and that's what I'm saying. So there are some good things coming out of Houston that's not named Deshaun Watson, believe it or not. All right, okay. I ain't take a shot to Deshaun. I'm but all I'm saying is this, guys. Pump your brakes a little bit because we do not want to get set up for Heartbreak City, man. Because these teams right now, like you never in your wildest dreams, John, thought Cleveland would be this goddamn good.
No.
Exactly. You never thought that the Bucks is still doing the shit that they're doing. They're the defending champs, cuz it's a lot of teams in our division that's not no smoke and mirrors, bro.
The Hornet.
So let's not fucking forget. You still got the fucking Nets when KD just came back.
Yeah.
All right. And Bemin Fimmons ain't, and even though he's a Bemin Fimmons fan, he still is an all-star. Okay. We still got a lot of teams to climb to get to that mountain, man. And it's not going to be easy. And don't get me wrong, Joel is having an MVP season, guys. And I'm glad that they added the Bear onto it. But here's the Scrooge part. They have no bench. And their bench is booty butt trash. Okay? You got Isaiah Joe, great shooter. He gonna be the shit.
Yes.
Okay. You brung in DeAndre Jordan. All right. Even though he's 33 years old, he's not the same guy we remember. He's just there for a big body replacement for Joel. Understandable. You really don't have no bench. Now, imagine, guys, if they would have kept Curry. Just imagine that. You got him, and you got what's the boy name? What's the cat name?
Thibault.
What's the other guard that's on the
Shake?
Shake. You got Shake. That's a nice 1-2 punch. You get what I'm saying? All I'm trying to say is think about their bench. They really don't have no shooters. And you're talking about Afia, you're talking about teams like Milwaukee, the Nets, the Knicks, Indiana, Cleveland, Boston. These cats ain't no walk in the park.
Okay. I hear you. I hear you. I appreciate what you're saying.
So
And I don't disagree with you. I think that is a real, valid view landscape of what we have ahead of you. You called it climbing a mountain, right? Call it Everest if you want to, right?
Mm-hmm.
But do I think these group of individuals, as currently conceived, are capable of climbing that said mountain? Yeah, you undeniably, I think I do. I don't disagree that your points are valid,
Mm-hmm.
but we only have to win 4 games a series. Okay? For 4 games a series, we just need our elite players, who Maxey is turning out to be a great third option. Okay? We need to get Tobias to understand his role. And honestly, if Tobias started shooting more, you would have more options. Okay? Yes, the people that we have outside of our superstars are trash. Danny Green, trash. Korkmaz, trash. All these other guys, they're not.
Shake is good.
Shake's good. Thibel's good. But Thibel is more of a defensive than a scorer. And Shake has streaks. He goes hot, he goes cold. So he's not quite there yet. And I think, honestly, more than anything, if I was being giving out my honest opinion on who I really think is the biggest liability to this team, is Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
And his trash lineups. Okay? Let's not. We're so focused on how the team is constructed, which I think Morey has done an excellent job with what he's been given. You know, who no one's asking. Tobias Harris is lacking, and that's not even a contract he took on, so he's doing what he can.
So let me cut you off for a minute, sis. You just touched on something I want to put my finger on. You said Morey. I agree 110%. Let me also add that, in my opinion, Morey could have done more. And what I mean by that is, what I mean by doing more, meaning that if you're going all in with a guy by trading away 2 number ones, I believe it was, right, John?
Yeah,
for a 32-year-old all-star, okay, one of the best 75th players in the world, in the NBA
of all time.
Okay, so his legacy is long. That man is going into the Hall of Fame, no question. But if you're going to beat the upper echelon teams like the Milwaukee Bucks, who's loaded from the floor to the bench, okay, the Miami Heat is loaded from the floor to the bench. You cannot tell me that this is the team that you said, Afia, that can win 4. Maybe they can win a couple, but if your bench, and John can vouch me on this, if your bench is not playing at least, I say, the starters is playing 100%, the bench gonna give you 90. All right, if you can't even get close to 90%, you get what I'm saying? What's the purpose of it? Because your bench is going to carry you as far as you can go. Because
what I'll say to that is, you are evaluating him off the strength of, I think, having too many expectations. Think about what he had to take on when he came to the Sixers. Okay, you have to deal with the fact that most of all the picks that we accumulated that were supposed to pan out didn't. Okay, at the end of the day, it's only Joel Embiid left standing. Okay, and now that we're good, we're never going to be picking high enough where he can have it. So he's got to, maneuver where he can. You've got a player in Ben Simmons, that refused to show up to work for a number of reasons, a plethora of reasons, that we can or cannot get into. Hold on, let me finish.
It's feminine.
Let me finish. I do not subscribe to that name. My sensibilities just cannot. Okay, but you can do it. You can, free country and all. The First Amendment says you can say whatever the hell you want. But so you have to deal with that. You've got the previous GM signing Tobias Harris to a max contract when he isn't given max effort. Okay. I like that pun. But I'm just saying, and then what did he do? He masterfully held out for James Harden. He knew he'd get to him eventually. I think that in and of itself, getting a legitimate score for this team who actually competes, right? Like John said, John opened the show. He came up to Maxie and he asked him, "Are you going to play today?" And then how many points did Maxie come out with?
24 points.
Okay, so you have a hungry guy. He's never won a championship. If he brings a championship to the city of Philadelphia, he is forever solidified along with Joel Embiid as the greatest to play here of all time. I think that hunger and that thirst and that thrive is going to compel you past a lot of these teams who I think in the playoffs in a pressure cooker situation may fall apart to a lot of things that maybe don't come alive in the regular season because you have so many games. Now, so I do think that yes, it is a heavy task. It's a heavy burden to bear. But I think that the team is equipped as long as my only caveat, as I said, is Doc Rivers. He's my biggest liability because if I have to see Joel Embiid spend another, I'm assuming he's saving him for the playoffs. But if Joel Embiid spends more than half of another fourth quarter riding the bench, I'm just gonna flip off. Like his not only are his rotations abysmal. Like I don't know. I think we just need a new coach. That would be my biggest thing. I think might hold us back. And if it is exposed in the playoffs, well then that I think isn't a bad thing.
You know what it is? His Doc's success as a coach predates his time here in Philly. And he's an all-time great winning coach, but his lineups, like the collapse in LA when he was coaching the Clippers.
Oh yeah.
Like what happened last year, that debacle, even to get to a game 7 against the Hawks when we were favored to win and move on. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
his combinations, like keep going from a double-digit lead to being down by 9 points, and you call a timeout, and you don't really make any substitutions. Like he, I don't know.
His dedication to Paul Millsap, his dedication to running.
It's like the awareness to when your defense is bleeding like that, bleeding points, you got to get those guys out.
So basically,
switch it.
So basically, Afia, what you're saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, that Doc play old school ball, meaning that he's more dedicated to the ones that been there longer. Like
I think he's not recognizing that he needs ascending players.
I agree with that 100%. I actually had a conversation with a friend of mine named Alvin at my job, and we talk basketball all the time, and he said the same exact thing, and I agree with him then. But yeah, I believe that's exactly what it is. I mean, it's actually, I believe, is well documented that he even mentioned that in one of the press conferences. John, I remember he was like, I think it was a while back. It's like he has this thing of not playing young talent from the gate.
Right.
Remember Rondo Celtics? Remember Rondo with the Celtics?
Correct. You got to earn that. And in the way, guys, if you think about that, it's kind of bad because you and I know that dude Isaiah Joe should be on that floor.
Yeah, that kills me.
The dude is, I'm gonna tell you, and y'all both gonna be like, damn, Whip, you on point. You want to know who he remind me of? You ready? He remind me of a young Bradley Beal. Think about it, John. The way he shoot, the way he carry himself.
Yeah, he's like slow-footed. Yeah. Like he's slow. Yeah. He's slow, like slow-footed, but he can just like
he's one of them guys that has to get a chance and probably show a spark for at least about 3 or 4 games till people start paying attention to him. I am telling you this now, even though he wasn't a high pick like Bill was and this, that, and the third, they got the same features in the sense of their game, the way they shoot the ball, everything about that dude screamed Bradley Beal. And what I'm scared of, Afia, is that Doc Rivers is going to allow that man to sit on that bench. And he's going to trade him because he's going to be trade bait. And the moment he trade him, that coach is going to let him spark and he's going to become a star.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. That is, I think, again, our biggest liability goes back to being Doc Rivers and his I think, inflexibility with being willing to play younger guys or ride, sometimes he's willing to ride a hot hand, but he says one thing and then does another. So he'll say, "Oh, I want to make sure I keep 2 starters in at the same time, or I'm open to allowing this player to have more minutes and this player to have more." But then he constantly reverts back to the me. I mean, I think it's plainly obvious in the fact that we signed DeAndre Jordan.
Yep.
Right. That Paul Millsap ain't it. Right. He's not, and instead of looking anywhere else, he continues to trot him out there instead of trying to find a different rotation. I get that we don't really have the most dynamic center. Like you mentioned that we should have kept Steph. I'm actually thinking underratedly, I wish we would have kept Drummond because
me too.
Was the perfect complement center to what we were doing now.
We missed the importance of how much his rebounds would have mattered right now.
Right. Yeah. Every night I watch a game, I'm so frustrated by our lack of rebounds because there's so many points. There's so many times you'll see them a shoot attempt, and all you see is the opponent's team underneath the basket.
And I'm so glad that you touched on DeAndre Jordan because we can, and this topic was saying this. To me, DeAndre Jordan is not. He don't even come close to Andre Drummond rebounds. Like, okay, well, he made the All-Star twice? Am I right, John? How many times he make it? Twice? Once?
2 or 3 times.
Okay,
2 or 3 times. Because that Clippers team, with him, CP3, it was nice.
Do you realize how much Joel Embiid is probably saying in the back of his mind, but we don't hear it? He was like, "Yo, you know how much rest I got with that dude on the court when I wasn't playing?"
Drummond.
Now, since he's been going, Joel minutes just rocketed.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Now, okay, you bring a spacer out here and the Bear who can create his own shot, and do magic. But guess what? He's not the position that JoJo needs. So you took away something that was real important to JoJo. And this is the guy, Afia, that you just mentioned that's going to need his breaks when the playoff time comes.
Yeah.
Now, if Doc Rivers can magically somehow find a fountain of youth and bring back the DeAndre Jordan from years ago, now we talking.
But he's always been a good interior defender, though.
Say it again, John.
DeAndre's always been a good interior defender, though. So that's the fit.
He can't play the perimeter.
It's okay. It's all
Not
right.
Really. No.
You only need like 13 minutes from him.
Yeah. But guess what? Out of those 13 minutes you got from him, by that time, Drummond would have had about 9 boards instantly from 13,
Drummond
9 or 10 boards.
Drummond's one of the best rebounders of all time.
Yeah,
and he might. His presence inside.
This is where I say to my sister, this is why I was saying let's pump our brakes, because keep in mind, even though to some people Morey did his job and he waited to get to Barrett because he wanted another star for Ben Simmons, and rightfully so. I applaud him for that. But look what you sacrificed.
I get you. I'm not gonna hold you on it.
It's not bad.
I would have sacrificed the picks before I sacrificed the players. But at the same time, understanding what the Nets understand what they're getting in Ben Simmons. Like, let's be real, okay? Has Ben Simmons played for the Nets yet? The Nets have gotten more usage out of Andre Drummond and Steph Curry than they have out of the marquee person involved in that trade.
Oh yeah. Now, there was a report today from the Athletic that said he's going to be out even longer.
You want to know why he's doing that, though, right?
His back tightness has. I wonder if he'll remain tight in his back as long as the Sixers are accelerated. I don't know.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Ben sat out the entire year.
Man, let me tell you something right now. All right, I put out a tweet earlier, and y'all seen it, the Ben Simmons tweet I put out. I said, whether Ben Simmons plays in that game in 6 days or not, the city of Philadelphia is going to boo the shit out that boy so bad that his people over there in Canada, where you from, Canada?
Australia.
The people in Australia going to be like, woo, shit, boy, that hurt.
They'll hear it.
Want to feel it. Like, he can't escape it.
I know, right? It's like he if the thinking is, because we don't really know, but if, like, that's our disclaimer for all y'all. If the thinking is, if I don't play, they won't boo me. He didn't really get to understand Philly fans in his time here.
Bro, I'm really here to tell you.
But he will. He will if he shows up, if he's there, because I don't know how serious his injury could possibly become. If he's there,
all you going here
that day, then it will definitely be quite a spectacle to see. Side note, just off topic, just want to throw that out there. I'm gonna be at the game tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
The Heat versus the Sixers game. I caught some tickets. They're terrible tickets, but I got them.
You in there?
And I'm about to see my Sixers. I haven't seen the Sixers play since I was a kid, actually.
Oh, that's fly.
That's when I was young. Like AI was still on the team the last time I saw like we still had the spectrum the last time.
Well, enjoy it. It's well deserved. But real quick, before we get off this,
we'll see something. Hopefully, we'll see a good game. Just either way, whatever the outcome is, I want to see a good game.
Listen, it's going to be so many F-bombs at the arena that he gonna feel as though it's Hiroshima on his ass. I don't think y'all understand when I tell you the most hated Philadelphia athlete in the world is Feminine Simmons. That man is hated.
Yeah, him. I don't think there's a more polarizing discussion on Twitter than him and Carson Wentz. The two most I guess the two most athletes that came in with the most abject promise that we've ever seen, and then kind of crashed and burned just because of their own stubbornness and their own unwillingness to be accountable for their flaws, right? So I mean, at the end of the day, we definitely got better, even though it may take us a little bit time to get where we ultimately wanted to go, and that brings me to my next topic. Even though I want to speed past this a little bit, I just want to get into your idea of what you think. I guess you kind of already told me what your expectations was. You said pump the brakes. Let's not really, get to it. But I want to know, just in the next regular season. In the regular season, what are your expectations for the Sixers? What do you expect to see from them in terms of preparing for the playoffs?
Well, preparing for the playoffs. Well, what I expect to see is what we're seeing right now. We're seeing chemistry get built. Come together. We're seeing a new, like this. The title, 3 the hard way. You seeing it now. You got these 3 guys coming into their own when it was really supposed to be Tobias Harris, and hopefully he'll come alive. Then so what I expect right now in the figure is to see chemistry build with this new toy that the Philadelphia 76ers got. See if Joel can continue to stay on his MVP remarkable season that he's having without being injured. And I want to see if Doc Rivers is going to find a light bulb in his head and try to wake the hell up. You have to utilize these guys on your bench, man, because you're going to need these cats. And if he don't do it right and do what he's supposed to do, all we're going to do is see another failed season. And I don't want to see that, man. And you bring this high-powered ass offensive weapon in here, one of the 75th greatest players in the world.
And couldn't figure it out.
That's going to say a lot about you. Then all it's going to do is put the city of Philadelphia on your head that you don't need. You get what I'm saying? So
Ben wasn't the problem why they lost against the Hawks. It was
but that's what I'm trying to say. I want to see results. That's all. Mm-hmm. I want to see results. And to answer your question, so we can go to the next topic. I know for a fact that I believe in the bottom of my heart that I know one day they're gonna win the championship. But this year, this is not the year. Maybe next year.
Okay, well, I heard from the Scrooge. Let me let John get the last word in here, okay? Like, let me hear from you about what you feel like the expectations are down the stretch for the Sixers and how you imagine us sort of gelling as we enter the playoffs.
I want to see how the Sixers build a meritocracy. A
Mm,
meritocracy is based on merit and based on how you play when it doesn't count. And I think it's important for Doc. You can see it. You can see like how he's messing with these lineups, and we're getting smoked, and we get upset. But I think there's reason behind the madness because they want to see what players are built for what, where, when. They're trying to. I think they're going to make a deep run in the playoffs. And honestly, you know how we are. I have hopes that they're going to win it all. So I'm playing in something in July. I'm just saying. Hey, I predicted Tom Brady would and the Bucks would win the Super Bowl when they that season. So I feel the same way. I don't know. It's different. It's a different team. They have a different identity. Like they're not going to settle for just getting to the playoffs, to the first round. I think they're really gonna fight. They don't give up. Their defense is nice. If the offense and they can just stay consistent, everything will fall into place.
yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, and with that, I'm gonna let John have the last word. And as we go into our ad break, okay, all right. Now, as we said, the Three Birds have partnered with AmazeMedia Labs and DraftKings. All right. Hoops Sixers fans, okay? The latest offer from DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is too good to pass up. I'm talking between the legs, 360 windmill good. New customers can bet just $1 on any team and get $150 in free bets if they win. It's that simple. If Sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, you can still take your shot at the big payday. Everyone can play for huge cash prizes with DraftKings Daily Fantasy Basketball Contest. DraftKings is giving all new customers a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with their first deposit. All you need to do, okay, is download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code TPPN, scrolling down on the bottom, TPPN. Bet just $1 on any NBA team and get $150 in free bets if they win. That's promo code TPPN at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 and older, minimum age, location requirements vary by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full list of requirements and state-specific responsible gaming resources. Void where prohibited. Minimum $5 deposit. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Tennessee, call or text the Tennessee hotline 1-800-889-9789. In Connecticut, call 888-879-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat. In New York, call 1778 New York or text Hope New York 467-369. Okay, make sure you subscribe, download DraftKings Sportsbook Net. All right. Now, I love the Sixers. I love what they're doing. I can't wait to see what's gonna happen. I'm very excited. Um, but as always, okay, it really comes back down to my birds. Okay, and I want to hear from you guys. Excuse me. I want to hear from you guys what you're gonna expect. The combine is happening. Okay, we're seeing wide receivers put up crazy numbers. Okay, breaking speed records. You're seeing uh quarterbacks go out and throw pretty well. I have a feeling that these next couple days, I think Jeff Stoutland was. I see you, Whip. I got you. Let me intro. Bam. I see Jeff Stoutland working with the linebackers. With the offensive linemen, and so we got something special, baby brewed over there. I want to know get you guys' take on the Eagles at the combine, what you guys have heard, and what you are thinking is the Eagles' mindset as we sort of round into free agency coming up. Whip, please go ahead.
Yo, real quick, shout out to that boy, Gio, the podcaster.
Yeah.
That kid is special. All
He
right.
is.
If you are an eye view of this Gio, man, we love you. Thank you, brother. And
he represented Philly well.
I give you props for what I'm about to say. It took this kid who's been fighting his whole life, who deserve it all, to get on the NFL Network during the combine. When asked, Howie Roseman may be looking right now, what would you want to say to him? He said, you know what? I'm like a wide receiver. And he said, and I quote, hopefully I'm saying this right. He said, and for God, something, what did he say? For God's sakes, just get us a linebacker. Now, I don't think it was God's sakes because I forgot what it was, but it was in that, in that realm. But I think he said, for Jesus, something. He said something to that effect that, please get us a legit linebacker. And like the two guys, Rich Eisen?
Rich Eisen.
John Eisen, they was all laughing because they was like, yo, it took this kid who's been going through so much to say the praises of every Eagle fan in the world who's been saying this to this man that nobody can reach. And the only way you reach a Howie Roseman if you have his phone number and you know him. It took a kid one chance to get on TV and say what everybody been saying. Then do y'all know hours later Howie Roseman and the coach took a picture with him?
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to squeeze in there. And he mentioned it. He said, hey, don't forget about them linebackers, bro. So I'm so happy that you started this segment off with a discussion about the linebackers, okay? Because I think that it's been something that I've been really trying to like peer through the tea leaves and parse out what reporters down in Indianapolis is sort of hearing on the ground as far as the Eagles and their hopes for the linebacker crew, right? So you had Howie Roseman come to the podium a couple days ago, and he gave a press conference, and he said, when Jim Schwartz was here, he was really more in the off-ball linebackers. He didn't really have as much of an emphasis on it, and so that's what Coach wanted, and so that's what we drafted. Now we have Jonathan Gannon, and his scheme requires certain other different types of players, so we have to be specific and catering to our coaches' needs. And I perked up at that. Okay, I think people think that Howie Roseman never says what he wants. Actually, I think Howie Roseman says too much. Okay, that's Howie Roseman's problem.
Low key.
Okay, okay. He says too much sometimes, but I perked up at that, and I was like, maybe he's finally gonna do what everybody has been asking him to do and use one of our first round picks on a linebacker for one, not a defensive end. Not a defensive end.
Devin Lloyd, University of Utah.
Linebacker, right?
Devin Lloyd.
I you know me, never say never, but I think this might actually be the draft, the year we actually draft a linebacker. Tell me I'm crazy. Tell me I'm crazy.
Sis, I am with you 1,000,000%. And you never say shit like that. Listen. If we get Devin Lloyd playing in Kelly Green, do you understand? Y'all remember, last year when we had our Three Birds and the Punt draft watch party, and I spazzed out about Smith. Just imagine what I'm going to do if they draft Lloyd. Man, listen here. This is why I gave that kid a shout out because he deserved it, man. If we get a linebacker, man. And this is why I'm getting hyped. I'm thinking about it. You get a linebacker and you attack free agency and you put the pieces together, block for block for block for block from here. Yep. Do you guys realize, and I'm going to say this, the Eagles will be untouchable if they do this right.
The sky is the limit. The sky is the limit. I do think I agree with you on that, Whip, that the Eagles are primed to put themselves in a position to build a really strong team, and it starts with making the right decisions at the draft. And honestly, that's my nightmare scenario because I don't trust Howie Roseman too much at the draft. There's certain places I trust Howie Roseman. I trust him as a contract negotiator. I trust him as a trade master. Okay, I even somewhat trust him in the free agency mindset. But in the draft room, I just wish sometimes he would just chill and let the personnel guys and let the people who do their job all year round do their job year round.
That's why Doug Peterson not here today.
Yeah,
because he wanted to be able to do what he wanted to do with his own players. You have to keep in mind, you have a owner. You already know what his name is, Beetlejuice. We have an owner in Beetlejuice, Jeffrey Lurie. If you don't believe who he looked like, go Google it and put his picture next to him. You'll see what I'm talking about. You have a guy in Jeffrey Lurie who low key he's a power freak. He is. Okay. When Chip Kelly came in here and did the bullshit he did, that was it. You fucked it up for everybody else. So here on out, I don't give a damn if you the best defensive coordinator and all of USA and you gotta you came play with them Alabama boys. You came from that school. He's not going to release no type of power to nobody. So you want to know what they're gonna do? He looking at it like this. I pay Howie Roseman all his money. You know what I mean? You go out here, you go pick some of these football boys' brains, but you gonna make these picks. Because the moment somebody else picked that pick, you get what I'm saying? It don't go right. They're gonna say, well, I'm the reason why this, that, and the third came to Philadelphia. Jeffrey Lurie don't want that. And this is why we in a predicament. I agree with you, Afia. This is why I don't trust Howie Roseman either. That is the last man, and I say the last man on this God's beautiful earth to be having 3 number 1 draft picks and having us scared the fuck out of our goddamn mind.
Like, I know, right? It is going to be just one of the most
I'm scared
experiences. Like, John, like, get in on this because I really kind of am excited and scared at the same time because we have a great opportunity to really rebuild our team from the ground up, homegrown talent, and yet we have like the worst person ever making the pick. Like, John, like what do you think? What do you think about this situation?
This is the make or break year for his legacy as a GM. Now,
big words.
Three first round picks. I can't remember last time we had 3 first round picks. Like that's crazy,
dude.
And this free agent market is looking robust. There was another name today that's been linked to being cut, Amari Cooper.
Next segment, I want to get into that. Right?
He looked good in midnight green, but the market in general, like every position, is pretty decent. I mean, to see how he fell at any of these phases will be a utter disappointment because it's looking good.
Let me say something to you birds real quick, and we gonna call this little 2-3 second. I'm gonna ask from both of you guys this. We're gonna call it the thinking process. All right, so when I say ready to go, I want y'all to just close your eyes and you can open them and just start thinking. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
We have 3 number 1 picks with a man who don't know how to draft. Now, think about this. Go. Think about that. Think about that. Now, okay. Now, I see both of y'all. Exactly. I see y'all face. Now, tell me, you motherfuckers ain't scared.
I'm shitting my pants, bro.
Exactly.
You know what I said to myself?
But realistically, it's not the best. It's not the best outcome in settings. Like we've seen what Howie Roseman has done with first round picks before. Okay, we know what certain outcomes will be. But I do think that I think he's open for business. And that kind of gives me a little bit of like hope because as loaded as this draft is with a lot of premier talent, I do think he's got his eye peeking out for 2023. And he has learned a lesson in that he wants to accumulate as many picks as possible to give himself a much better chance of hitting on players, especially when you understand his record of success. But realistically, like let's go over like our last draft, we had 10 picks, and so far about half of them are panning out, right? So let's put that in there. Okay, the last time we had like 5 or 6 picks and only like 1 or 2 panned out. So it averages out that he wants more picks to give himself a greater chance.
Okay, and I'm glad you said that. But isn't it fair to say that that's all he does every year is accumulate players? Because here's the thing.
Yes, but that's it. That's his thing. That's his strategy to make that maintains his position.
Yeah, but
I mean, Jeffrey Lurie's right hand guy always be selling. Okay,
I understand that, but at the same time, though,
in a mode to tell you how the next one can be better and greater and all this, that, and the third. But he's always going to be a willing listener. Jeffrey Lurie is a willing listener. But at the same time,
I agree. But at the same time, and John, correct me if I'm wrong, bro. Even though he accumulate all these picks, he has the assets to move up, and it's been in a couple of years now. He can do that, right? But he's always the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
The record trade is the prime example. Okay? That man is going to football hell for that shit. Okay? Think about this. You accumulate these picks and you thought you was better than the next man. You had the Vikings laughing at you, this, that, and the third. What kills me about Howie Roseman is when you already know you have a star potential, star-changing player right in front of your face, you say, you know what? Yeah, he got them stats. He nice. But this guy making me better. I'm going to shock the world. I'm tired of that shit. And this dude now has 3 number 1 picks, Sophia. 3 that this man can literally go ahead and draft from Temple University, B.A. Baracus. And when you have Devin Lloyd right there, and I'm going to be like, what the fuck? Like, bro, like, I'm going to be honest with you. I am terrified out my mind, guys, that John, and I know you're going to be shocked when I say this because you know our tradition. We watch draft day every year. We've been doing this since God knows when. I'm here to tell you, bro, I'm not doing it this year.
Whoa!
No, that's like not putting the Christmas lights out for Christmas.
Exactly. But even Afia been around us long enough, she even know about it. That's why
you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it.
I can't do it. I can't because I'm scared. I'm scared for myself, bro. Because if this dude mess up this draft, I am going to jail. You understand me?
You don't want to have a stroke.
I am going to prison that night, guys. Okay, you will see my full government. You will see me with hands behind my back, and I'm gonna be like, they're gonna ask me questions. I'm like, yeah, I meant to do it. I'm tired of it.
No. Listen, I feel you on that, and
I can't do it no more.
I get you. I'm nervous for it. No doubt about it. But I do think that I don't want to say that Howie has learned his lesson because I'm off the Howie train. Like, you can't put me back on to be a supporter of his. The best thing I can hope for is that he's good in spots. He's good in moments. That's all I can really give you from this man. But I do think that with the the people that he has surrounded himself with, we have a very strong front office staff. If we allow the personnel department to do its work and not allow certain other departments to have more say, because that's Howie's job. Howie's job is to balance out personnel, analytics, coaching, right? And then ultimately the owner, right? And sort of weigh each one's own agenda in order to find the best outcome for the Philadelphia Eagles, okay? His flaw is that his decision making at times is pretty faulty. Like, at times he'll say, I'm listening to the coaching staff, and that tends not to work out. Or sometimes he'll listen to the analytics staff, and that tends not to work out. The only time that, in my humble opinion, I have seen when he listens to the owner, it's complete and utter chaos and abject horror, okay? A la Jalen Hurts and the Carson Wentz thing, right? But maybe we needed it because look at him now. But the only time that we've ever really done well is when it listens to the personnel grouping, right? When it listens to the personnel guys. So that's what I'm hoping that he maybe has figured out, that he needs to kind of just at the draft. Like, analytics is great when we're playing the game of football. Listening to the coaches is great when you are trying to build up these players that you're getting. Talking to the owner about what you want, big vision is important in the offseason to begin your presenting plans. But at the draft, trust the people who spend all year scouting these players. Period. That's all I have to say. That's my soapbox, my soap stand, whatever, and I'm sticking to it.
John, end it off. Talk
for the draft. I have 4 things that I'm pitching for Howard to do. Like, if we could control Howard to do this, it'd be important going forward. Draft Jermaine Johnson II with one of the first rounders, defensive end, Florida State, first real year playing Division I football. He came from Independence Community College. The show Last Chance U. Like, the kid came up went to Independence, played at Georgia, and then transferred to Florida State. And he had a breakout year. Was the ACC Defensive Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's who a lot. If you see a lot of mock drafts, you see Jermaine Johnson. That dude's perfect. He's already better than Super Bowl hero Derek Barnett.
Everybody, you better than Derek Barnett.
This dude, he's nice. He has moves. My second thing, draft Breece Hall, Iowa State running back. Breece Hall, he's a 4-year letterman for Iowa State. The guy reminds me so much of Roger Craig, but like a bulkier Roger Craig, if you can imagine that. The dude on the backfield,
I agree with that assessment of him.
Nice.
He do.
Nice. And he already had, and he could be a replacement for Boogie when Boogie walks next year, if he even gets there. Somehow find a way to draft Kyle Wilson from Notre Dame, the safety. If we got that dude, who's throwing on that side? If he's on Slay's side, who's throwing to that side? That dude is an enforcer. He's like Ronnie Lott, where like he's good in coverage, but he can come down and fill the gaps, fill the run lanes. He be like a Sean Taylor to the Redskins. Like, he could be that important, and I hope they draft Kyle Wilson. And my last thing, I don't know if you saw the combine, but did you see Chris Olave from Ohio State, the receiver?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know how I'd feel about how he drafted another receiver in the first round, but that dude is good. That dude reminds me of Marvin Harrison when he had Reggie Wayne.
I like everything you said. I love it, dog. I actually love it. Here's why I think Howie's not going to draft another wide receiver with the first with them out of one of those picks. Devontae had a good season last year. Okay, you have probably 5 or 6 wide receiver ones as free agents next month or this month, whenever. When is free agency? When is it?
12 days.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
12 days.
The new league year.
So check this out. You got damn.
Yeah,
it made me smile. Look,
oh my
see my smile. Look,
coming quick.
Look, my smile just went on like that. 12 days.
You're gonna see a whole
check this
team
out.
soon.
Hear me out. Damn, I'm still smiling. You said 12. I'm happy as shit.
12 days of Christmas, right? It's like the 12 days.
Damn. All right, let me. All right. The thing here's why I know they're not going to do it, because you have an opportunity to either pick up Godwin, the kid from Dallas, Coop. It's a lot of cats. Calvin Ridley. and you put him, them Bama boys back together. Listen,
all right. I think Jalen would need that. That's what Jalen needs.
All right, I hear you guys, and I definitely appreciate what you're saying. I think we will continue to go at this ad nauseum about what the Eagles need and trying to convince, please, however we have to do it for Howie to draft the linebacker. So I just, before we head off for the night and say our goodbyes and everything, I want to just get into the broader NFL. John brought up a little bit earlier, right, that we have a lot of wide receivers coming out, and Amari Cooper is most likely getting cut because he's due to have, I don't know, he's due to cost the Cowboys something, and they'll say
$20 million.
Right, so they'll say $16 million if they cut him. He got no more guaranteed money left. Okay, so he's getting cut. It's not even a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Nobody's going to trade for his contract when they know that the Cowboys are over the cap and can't keep him. So I want to know from you guys, that's our last topic of the night. What do you see in the NFL heading free agency in 12 days? What's going on in the NFL rumor mill? What have you heard? What do you know about certain players and who the Eagles may have an opportunity to get? And I'll start with you, John, because you brought up Amari Cooper, my good man.
I just heard a report that Amari Cooper's already been linked to the Eagles, and that's the whole talk at the combine. Like you see all these reports, like, yeah, it's crazy. Like, oh yeah, as soon as Amari Cooper's going to be cut, Howie Roseman's going to be on the phone with his agent. They mentioned Allen Robinson. I don't think Russell Wilson's going anywhere. Russell Wilson, I don't think is going anywhere. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going anywhere. And the Dolphins do not want to trade for Deshaun Watson. So that limits where he goes. That's crazy. And then Jimmy G had a second surgery. Where is he going to go? Like, it's they link Carson to the Steelers.
Yeah, but then that chatter has kind of cooled off a little bit in the way that it goes. You know, it'd be very interesting to see. Webb, I see you over there, patiently waiting to tell us about your NFL rumors. What do you got?
Well, to piggyback off of what John said about Carson Wentz to Pittsburgh and what you said, sis, yes, it cooled down, but look for that to happen. That still is a major play. I heard a lot about that. Free agency things, the Amari Cooper, the Philly thing, I'm not feeling that, man. And the reason why, for some apparent reason, Cowboys just do not fit over here in Philly. And that is a trending thing for some apparent reason. They just don't fit over here. Now, I would love for that to be the case, but it won't be. I would rather see a Calvin Ridley in the Eagles uniform. You know, he'll get his money. You know, that he was really holding out for, because that's what it really was about. He wasn't filling his contract, and you put him with Devontae Smith, who's already familiar with, you know, Hurts, both of them,
and Ridley, yeah.
So you get what I'm saying. I look now. You got me smiling again. This in 12 days. Damn. Wow. So at the end of the day, let's be real with ourselves, guys. All those receivers that's going to be on the free agency, I'll take any one of them.
Absolutely.
I apologize. I would take any one of them. It's just that simple. So we'll just see. We'll just see.
All right. For my rumors of the year, I think John mentioned, right, that Russell Wilson is not to be moved, but I heard that the Washington Commanders, which I still have to get used to that name, made
Captain Commander
serious run at Russell Wilson, and we're told no. And so I guess the idea is, as long as Russell doesn't want to go anywhere, the Seattle's not really interested in moving him. You know, and I do think that it's very interesting to me that Aaron Rodgers is willing to settle for being once again the highest paid player in the league, and I don't know, man. Aaron Rodgers, your shine has worn off for me a little bit because you keep showing up at big moments and coming up small. So we'll see highest player in the league. We'll see what's going on in the Green Bay Packers. I think I think Jimmy Garoppolo's in that second tier, so he's got to see what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Watson. Look for Deshaun Watson maybe to the Buccaneers. You mentioned that the Dolphins don't want him, but there's another team in Florida that could really use some help. They recently just had a quarterback unexpectedly retire on them, and I know a certain Tom Brady would love for the Bucks to just wind up with a good QB so that he could sort of walk himself over to the 49ers or the Broncos or wherever he's hoping to potentially be, because I don't think it would surprise me if Tom Brady was sitting on the sidelines come opening day. That's all I'm gonna say. We'll see. I believe it when I see it. That's what I say about my NFL.
Could you imagine him leaving the Bucks to go to the 49ers? That would be crazy.
Yes, 100%.
That would be crazy.
He probably is like, I see what's happening. I don't really like the Bucks. I did what I did there. I want to go over here to warmer weather, so on and so forth. He like he said, he's a guy that needs to stay busy, and now he's hung out with his family. He said I got family time for 5 weeks. That is a man who's sick of family time. That's a man that loves the grind, and he said 45, and then he left a year early. I don't know if that's gonna sit right with him. I don't think he's going to be able to handle his competitiveness. Will not be able to handle watching other players get better, and while he sits on the couch, So we'll see. I think there's a lot of interesting moving parts happening. I would love Calvin Ridley to come. I agree with you. Amari Cooper, has some issues. Is there trouble hearing me? You guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you clear.
Can't hear you.
You can't hear any of us? All right. Well, John can hear me, and
I can hear both of you.
Yeah, well, it's like we got you. We got you, bro. We got my man Whips having some technical difficulties, even though his beautiful face is still there. I'm talking about your face, bruh. So with that means is we need to get out of here. Okay. So we'll see. I think the NFL free agency is going to be amazing. It's going to be crazy. 12 days. John, last words.
We gotta fire on all cylinders. Be smart with the money we use in free agency, and go back. Trust those guys, men and women that handle the draft boards, and really get the best players for this team.
Absolutely, and I think that it is imperative for the Eagles to, we have a great space, right? In the cap, we're not over. We're finally free from Carson and all that. I think it's imperative that we stay to a solid plan. Don't get over eager. Don't overpay. If your goal and your hope and your opportunity. What's up, my guy Whip?
I'm sorry, guys. I had a technical difficulty. Like my mic just completely went dead, so I apologize. But I'm back.
You back? You hear us? Everything's good?
I'm good.
All right. Well, we was getting used to you just being quiet. So
hey, look,
now we gotta get back.
Y'all better take advantage of that because that's gonna be the last.
No, but in all seriousness, it's live. This is what happens when it's live. We out here, we vibing, and hopefully, Eagles stay flexible. They make the right moves, and Whip does not have to go to trial for attempted murder. Okay, that is not something we want to
do. Listen, Howie Roseman. All right, my man Gio got at you on TV, so this is part 2 of this. Don't you fuck this up. All right, if you don't draft a linebacker and you draft Hannibal from A team or some shit, I'm on your ass. I'm coming after you. I'm telling you that right now. This is on live. This is live. Remember this face.
And I know
Howie, protect your neck.
Right? Like, listen, we out here. That's why he got tents on the car, because he know we don't play about our team, and we want a linebacker. Gosh damn it!
Yeah.
All right. That has been another episode of Three Birds and a Punt, 3 the Hard Way, episode 37. Please make sure you subscribe and download to the podcast streaming on Apple, Anchor, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Okay, don't forget to download DraftKings Sportsbook app today. Promo code TPPN. Okay, follow us at Three Birds and a Punt on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Download and subscribe 3 Birds and a Punt on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. You can follow me at According to Athea, right there. Boom, boom. You can follow my guy Webb. I know he's done changed his name again. I got you. Where can they follow you at, bro?
The same one you're looking at right now.
Oh, okay, you put it back. Okay, there it is. Follow him. And last but certainly not least, you can follow my guy John. Where can they follow you at?
John Monroe Jr.
John Monroe Jr. And that has been another episode of Three Birds and a Punt. Stay safe out there, fam. Go Birds.
Go Sixers and Birds.
Go Birds, go Sixers. Let's go. Here they come.
Let's go. Here they come. All right. Have a good night, guys.
Have a good night.